November 30th marks the end of the Atlantic hurricane season for 2017, and this year has been extremely active. There have been 17 named storms, and some of those storms have left a very big scar on parts of the United States and the Caribbean as well. This season actually ties with 1936 as being the fifth most active season since records began in 1851, and the most storms since 2012. There were actually 6 major hurricanes, meaning it was a Category 3 or stronger. The first system formed on April 19, 2017, and there's been a total of 18 depressions. And some of the storms were very memorable, the first being Hurricane Harvey. Harvey was the first major hurricane to strike the United States since Hurricane Wilma in 2005. It is the most intense tropical cyclone to move ashore onto the U.S. mainland since Hurricane Charley in 2004, and it is the first Category 4 hurricane to make landfall in Texas since Hurricane Carla in 1961. Also of note was Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Irma had peak wind gusts of 295 kilometers an hour, and it was the strongest Atlantic storm outside of the Gulf of Mexico or the Caribbean Sea on record. It was also the 11th most intense hurricane on record in the Atlantic Basin. Hurricane Jose also caused widespread catastrophic damage. The government of Antigua and Barbuda began efforts on September 8th to evacuate the entire island prior to Jose's anticipated arrival. Most structures on the island were already heavily damaged or destroyed by Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Katia was also a very strong storm. In preparation for the storm, over 4,000 residents were evacuated from the states of Veracruz and Puebla. Tourists left coastal towns and emergency shelters were opened, and in some cases, they had to clear the storm drains due to the onset of heavy rainfall. There were 2 fatalities reported from mudslides, and a third man was swept away by floodwaters. States of emergency were declared for 40 out of 53 total municipalities that reported damage from mudslides and flooding, and about 77,000 residents were left without power at the height of the storm. Hurricane Maria will likely go down in history as one of the most memorable storms to ever hit Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico suffered catastrophic damage. The island's electrical grid was devastated, leaving all 3.4 million residents without power. Many structures were leveled while floodwaters trapped thousands of citizens. The United States National Guard, Coast Guard, Army Corps of Engineers, and other units all worked to administer aid and assist in search and rescue operations. However, the U.S. federal government's response to Maria was heavily criticized. And it is still too early to tell what the 2017 Atlantic hurricane season will bring, but if it is anything like this one, people need to prepare for what could be another very, very active season.